the MLB Network Podcast presented by Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Today we're joined by 8-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, 10-time Gold Glover, and 6-time Platinum Glover, Nolan Arenado. Man, it just feels like you're about to hit off a ball off a tee at the U.S. Open. And I have to say, all these accolades and like Tiger Woods, how many things you've had, has it sunk in, right? A little bit of this veteranship of, you know, playing and doing all these things. As it kind of sunk in a little bit of what you've done in this career, man? Because I remember the first time that you got called up to the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it has, obviously it feels good, obviously being in this game for this long so far. But you know how it is, man. You just you're continuing to chase something better and greater, and you just want to keep going as long as you possibly can, because this ain't, I'm more on the back end now than I am on the front. So you try to enjoy it and see if you can put more into it.
Man, take me through your childhood. All right, your two brothers, your family, obviously your dad's Cuban. Take me through what's like, the 10-year-old Nolan, or 10, 12-year-old Nolan, I guess I would say. Baseball practice, wiffle ball games in the backyard, the food for dinner, eating in that home of yours. Take me through all that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, honestly, I was very fortunate, growing up in Orange County. We weren't, the richest of the rich, but my dad worked very hard. My dad's born in Cuba. He came here and worked extremely hard, and that's a credit to him. And we got to live pretty good. Living in Orange County is not easy as far as prices and how expensive it is there, but that's a credit to my family and what they've done and how hard they work. But we grew up in a great area. Me and my family and my brothers, we've got great friends. All my cousins and my family, my aunts, my tios, and they all live right next to me. So, I was very fortunate to have them, and just playing baseball, wiffle ball, always having my family around. We always hung out with our friends, but for the most part, the weekends were for the family and the cousins, and we always found, after the week was over, we always found ways to spend time together and have dinner and, bistec empanizado, con gris. We had all that stuff for dinner every time on the weekends and stuff. So, family dinners was really important to us. Every week we would always have family dinners at my aunt's house, and we always try to be there on Wednesdays, so it'd be a lot of Cuban food.
Take me through Christmas and Thanksgiving. Is it the cajachina, the big pork in the box? Who makes it? Who juices that thing up? Who cuts it up? Is it your dad? Is it your brother? Is it you? I mean, I wouldn't let you cut those things, man.
No, I that's my dad, and those are my deals, man. They go and pick it up. But, after they go pick it up, we all go to the house and play dominoes and smoke cigars and clean out the pig and cook it. And we just kind of sit there and hang out all day. And, it's just kind of part of the routine. And it's the best part about it. And then obviously Noche Buena is obviously a great time with all the family and friends. But, and Thanksgiving is just a normal Thanksgiving, just like anybody else. But it's really important for our family to always be together, the Arenados. And that's something that we really try to take pride in.
Take me through high school. Dude, you wanted to be a catcher, or I guess scouts wanted you to be a catcher. Like, I would never think that. I would never see you as a catcher. I mean, can you imagine yourself blocking balls? I mean, the hands are real. I mean, you would be a pretty good framer, but the blocking balls and getting all those foul tips, what's up with that? How did that come about in high school, man? And obviously you kind of lured them to be like, I'm good. I want to be a third baseman.
Well, I think, I think to get my draft status a little higher, I just wanted to show that I could do something else other than play third base. I had a good arm. My pop time in high school was decent. It was always pretty good. But, I deep down in my heart, I never wanted to play catcher. I just did it to see if it would help me get drafted higher or something. But I love third base. But to the scouts' credit, I had really bad feet, really slow, didn't move. My first step wasn't very good. So they probably just saw good hands and a good arm. So they probably thought, maybe we put this guy at catcher, we can we don't have to watch him move with his feet. So, but I think, as I got older, I leaned out a little bit better, got in better shape, and I was starting to move better on defense. And then, the rest is history.
Take me through 2017, 2023 World Baseball Classic. I remember watching you and talking to you in the dugout in 2023. And I remember looking at you and I was like, all right, how is it? What's going on? And you were like, this clubhouse is out of control, right? The batting cages, the routines with all these guys. Griffey's your hitting coach. DeRosa, who's one of our own. as the manager. You're in Miami. You're playing all these teams, playing Cuba, playing Venezuela with the big home run from Turner. Yo, take me through that.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously that time, 17 was amazing. I was actually thinking about that not that long ago. We had practice in Fort Myers in 2017. I was in Arizona spring training, and Buster Posey, who was my teammate in the WBC, asked me if I wanted to fly with him on his plane that he got. And I was like, dang, dude, this is awesome. Buster's a division rival at the time,
right?
But he was generous about bringing me along, and I think that made our relationship better, and that fired me up that he would accept me like that. But obviously, that 17 team that we won with was incredible, real scrappy. We didn't have all the stars,
right?
A lot of the guys that
were a team.
Yeah, we were a good team. Jim Leland led the way. He was unbelievable, and that was unbelievable. But then obviously in 2023, just the best players I've ever seen, sick routines, just a joy to be around all those guys. And then obviously playing against Venezuela was one of the most fun times I've ever had in my life. And then watching Trey Turner, that's like, I've hit a few homers in my career. His homer might still be one of my favorites in my career, is just watching Trey Turner hit his. Albert Pujols is number one.
Yeah.
Trey Turner's up there.
Wait, hold on. Give me one story that maybe hasn't been talked about in 2017 or 2023, where you said, like, man, you caught yourself, right? There's moments in the big leagues, there's moments throughout your career that you kind of catch yourself and you kind of take a mental note of what's happening at the moment. Can you give me one of those?
Well, 2017, where I was kind of like, whoa, this is really crazy, was when Nelson Cruz hit that homer against us in the Dominican-USA game in Miami. I'm pretty sure I saw some fans crying of how happy they were when he hit that ball. I realized the magnitude of how much the Latin, countries in Dominican love baseball, but to see them crying and like that was just eye-opening. Obviously I was happy that we won because that was a tough loss, but watching that was amazing. And then obviously in 2023, just watching all these guys, being around them, their routines, but watching Mike Trout in the batting cage was something that I had to sit back and be kind of like, dang, like this is really different, like this guy, the guy would flip the ball and it seemed like the ball was getting behind home plate and then he would swing, just snap the fastest hands, the most explosive I've ever seen someone, and hit it like right back up the middle. But he would let that ball travel so deep. I don't know. That's where I caught myself and I'm like, that's different. I've never kind of seen something like that.
It's funny you say that because Mark DeRosa always talks about the speech, right? The speech against Venezuela, and did it feel like one of those moments where, you kind of were in a movie, where it was like, all right, we got Mike Trout, Paul Goldschmidt, yourself, Turner. Did you catch yourself during those times of saying, I mean, we've got an Olympic team right here, the best of the best right now, and I'm wearing this uniform myself. And the other question would be, how proud of you were you about yourself? Because I would think if I'm wearing that USA across my chest, I'm proud of myself as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think, being around those guys and, in that Venezuela game, it got a little out of hand, but, nobody was flustered. We just showed up and went back in the dugout, like, let's go, let's rally on. And if any team's going to start a rally, it's going to be that team. And we were able to. And just how fired up we were after the game. Everyone was just going nuts. It was just so much fun. It's just cool to be like in that 2-week period and like come together like that was special. And that's something like I always have a relationship with those guys. I look at them, I've always had mad respect for them, but now I look at them different when I see them. I appreciate them because of what they brought. And just wearing USA, man, just wearing that across your chest, it's an incredible honor. I'm proud to be, born in this country, and I love everything about this country. And to represent USA twice, it's literally a dream come true. And it was an incredible honor.
We'll be back with more of the MLB Network Podcast after this.
Nolan Arenado, one of the best third basemen the game has ever seen.
Swing and a drive. There's a launch job to left. Arenado presses this ball.
Charging is Arenado, off balance throw, and he got him. Wow, that's a nice play.
A majestic 3-run homer for Arenado.
That was the platinum glove type play that he has made so many times in his career.
Swing and a drive. Belted down the line.
A slammer for Nolan Arenado.
He's on the Hall of Fame highway.
It's funny. I've known you for quite some time now, and we've never really talked about Manny that much. We're always talking about like you and me, golf, family, the whole nine. Never really asked you this, but my prediction is that you and Manny are going to retire the same year. Okay, you see where this is going, and I think I get goosebumps talking about it because with Manny I talk about you all the time, and it's like it just feels watching the greatest generation of third basemen for the past 15 years has been you and Manny. What does that feel like in the sense of that? Hey, we are not only witnessing greatness right now, but even moving forward, perhaps history will show how great these last 20 years have been in third basemen. I mean, we can talk Brooks Robinson, Mike Smith, Adrian Beltran, but we're not talking just yet until you guys retire Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado.
Yeah. Well, I have, when I first got called up, I heard the hype on Manny Machado, and I have the utmost respect for him. When I was younger, I heard about his name so much, like in my mind, I kind of put that I didn't like him because of how much I heard about him. But because everyone talked about him, I'm like, man, I'm tired of people talking about him. I want them to talk about me, man. Like, I'm going out there, I'm doing it too, But, as I've gotten older, I learned to appreciate Manny for how good he is, how consistent he is. And I feel like when I watch Manny, I appreciate him because he wants to play every day just like I do. He posts, he wants to win, and he competes his butt off. And that's something that, like, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what he feels like, but I feel like I feel something similar. So as I've gotten older and I'm getting on the back end of my career, I just realize how much I appreciate a great player that he is. And he just continues to get better. And, I love watching Manny play. He's probably my favorite third baseman in this game. But in my mind, I feel like I put a rivalry in my head, you know what I mean, to like twist myself that I need to be better because they're talking about Manny and they're not talking about me. I got to find a way to like get people to start noticing who I am, So I don't know. I just twisted my mind like that. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but maybe that's what I needed to get, maybe that's what I needed to get better,
I love the fact that both of you guys feed off each other. It reminds me of like Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi. Like this is like what it feels like to me at the third base position, right? You guys have hit just as many homers. You guys have played just as many games. There's a lot of similarities, I guess, in the character of both of you because obviously I know Manny, I know you. The will to win. So many times in Colorado we had these conversations in the tunnel or we had these conversations in the locker room where it was like, I want to win. I want to win so bad, whether it's getting a walk and beat that pitcher or stealing a bag or going from first to home or just winning the game in itself. What is that to you? Describe what winning is like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like every pitch, you're not giving up on any pitch, right? Every pitch matters. Don't give in. It's hard. It's not easy. This game is tough and it beats you up, but as long as you don't give in, because that one at bat could be the difference from when you take off and when you don't. So I try to keep that in mind constantly. But at the same time, I think the one thing I've carried and maybe I shouldn't at times is I don't want to let my teammates down. And I don't think they ever think that about me, but that's kind of goes through my head sometimes that I don't want to, because I want to make sure that I'm doing my job and helping this team win as many games as I can.
Yeah, I don't think none of your teammates have ever had that belief at all. It felt like you got to the locker room at 10 in the morning for a 7 o'clock game. I mean, literally, it was 2 hours of video, taking 100 swings. Like, I would have to tell you. I mean, obviously, you know this. I'll be like, hey, slow it down, man. Slow it down.
I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it in my hips and back now, dude. Don't worry.
Oh, my
right.
goodness. Take me through those times, though, man, in Colorado. It's tough to play there. People don't understand how hard it is to play there. It's cool and cute and all that to go for 3 days. It's not so cool to play 81 games there, 80 games, playing a 12-game homestand. But, you look at your records and the stuff you've done there. I mean, you're 4th all-time. RBIs, you're 5th all-time. You post it every day. Take me through that whole Colorado Rockies time.
Yeah. I think, when I was there, I was very fortunate to come up with some great players with Charlie, DJ, Story, Cargo. Obviously Tulo was my mentor, but like playing with Charlie, DJ, and Story for that long, just having that core group, it was just kind of easy to show up to the ballpark because I knew they were showing up to the ballpark ready to get after it, and we lost a lot, but like we went down the right way, losing's not fun, but if you can, that you did everything you can, then you can go home and sleep just fine, and I feel like with that group of players, we did that. We were pretty good. I thought we could have been really good at times. But that division's tough, man. I mean, that division is what it is. It's always going to be a tough problem. The Dodgers, I feel like I've been hearing about the Dodgers my whole life, my whole big league career. And to their credit, they are awesome. But, in Colorado, we just, we competed, and I loved every moment of it. But people don't really understand how hard it is to play there, and then playing there for a long homestand and then going on the road, and the ball is Kershaw's curveball looks like it's starting at the sky and then it's landing on the plate. Like people don't understand those adjustments.
They have no idea.
No. So, but there is an adjustment, but at the same time, it was a great place to play. Fans showed up. It was awesome.
I didn't know this when I was in Colorado, but your teammates call you Mickey Mouse. Like,
yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, when I first got called up, they called me Mickey Mouse because Mickey Mouse is obviously a fake mouse, and the Latins call me a fake Latin because I didn't know Spanish, even though I've got Cuban blood in me. So, yeah, that's what they call me, Mickey Mouse.
Okay. We'll be back with more from Nolan Arenado after this.
The farmer's dog thinks about your dog every day because their goal is to help them live a long, healthy life. Their food is developed by a team of board-certified vet nutritionists. Unlike most pet foods, the farmer's dog is made to human-grade standards. It's gently cooked without the ultra-processing and portioned for easy weight management. Because sure, good ingredients matter, but the best recipes call for so much more. Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of Major League Baseball at thefarmersdog.com/MLB. That's thefarmersdog.com/MLB.
Hey, take me through that great catch you made in St. Louis. Look, my favorite catch of all time was the Giants catch in San Francisco where you go over the tarp. For me, that's my favorite catch of all time. You made a catch not too long ago in St. Louis where you kind of went into the net. That was a great catch, and then St. Louis did a whole golden seat where you kind of like sat on.
Yeah.
Take me through that play. Take me through what St. Louis did to you. How did that come about? Did the front office come to you or PR? What was that like? Take me through the whole story.
Yeah, obviously I went and ran into the stands a few times this year so far, and made some good plays, landed on some families, scared some kids, did the whole shebang. And then, I think it was pretty cool that, I didn't know they were going to paint the seat gold. I showed up to the ballpark and they told me they did. It was a really nice gesture from them, from the Cardinals organization. Really cool. Something that meant a lot. I really appreciated that. That was a really cool gesture.
So now
they didn't have to do that. So
is that seat worth more? Is that a ticket that's worth more? Is that a specialty? Are you giving him a ball? Are you giving that fan a ball, whoever's sitting there every night? Or do you look at that every night before the game?
No, actually they took it down and I signed it, and they're going to donate it to the charity for the tornado relief that happened here in St. Louis. So, it's for a good cause, and I thought that was pretty cool that they did that.
I think they need to do another gold one. I think for me, 10 of them, 10 gold gloves, do them all around third base line. Your time in St. Louis now, how has that been, that process from first year was tough, to all of a sudden this team is much better and we're moving in that right direction. How much fun has this been this year?
Yeah, this year's been great. Obviously, these guys are really stepping up. There's some growth. Some of these young players are turning out to be really great players. Donovan probably deserves to be an all-star. Mason Wynn is solidifying himself as one of the better shortstops in the game. Newport has a chance to be great. Herrera is a great player. Helsley's one of the best closers in the game. I mean, there's just a lot of good pieces here, and we're just coming together, and it's been fun. I don't know how else to describe it. We're just playing really good baseball, clean baseball, and I think our defense is really what's kind of carried us. Everyone's just playing elite defense, and it's a credit to everybody here that take pride on both sides of the ball, because that's what it's about.
We're going to get back to St. Louis, but something just came in my mind. Bro, your Instagram profile pic is Don Corleone from The Godfather. Like,
Yeah.
What? How did this? I mean, I should have probably like Pitbull or something like that, but Rick Ross, DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
How did that come about, man? With The Godfather, his favorite movie? What is it?
Yeah, it's my favorite movie. You know, obviously I think it's the greatest cinema movie of all time. There's 3 of them obviously in that picture, and I got 3 brothers, you know, me and my brothers, so it's us 3 kind of, you know, but you know, to me it's the best movie of all time, and I just love it, and I love that picture.
All right, what pitcher is the hardest to face right now?
Oof. I don't want to give pitchers too much credit, man. You know,
Just give me like one that you probably already faced and you're not gonna face him again.
All right, well, we faced DeGrom. He was pretty, you know, he pitched a great game, and he just looks kind of like old DeGrom.
Oof, old DeGrom, still at it. Nolan, man,
Yes.
thank you very much for coming on.
Appreciate
It's been
it,
an
bro.
absolute pleasure, man. Hope to see you soon, and you know, let's go out there and go play some golf, man. Pretty soon.
We will, bro. I'll take that money. You know what
Yeah.
I appreciate you, brother.
See you next time.